And it should show up. I wonder if it's gonna get big. Let's see. Alright. I'm just gonna make it larger so that we can see ourselves. Hey, it looks like it's working. It got me pulling out my pants. That's always awkward. Oh, yeah, of course.
It's like on a delay, huh?
Yes, it's always a couple seconds, maybe like 30 seconds most behind us.
Last reading. Clearing the throat. Quick adjustment.
Yes.
Everybody.
I'm gonna connect to it.
Trying to connect here.
If you'd like to join on the live so that we can keep up with comments, that's what we usually do. Just so you can see. And we've got a few people watching already, so that's pretty cool. Shall we wait a few more minutes, or do you want to go ahead and start?
Well, you can go ahead and start now. There we are. We join the live too. Ta-da!
Okay. Okay.
Well, good morning. Friday morning in a kind of cloudy Floresville. We've had some rain. Hope you've had some rain wherever you are too.
Yes.
I'm Nanette Kilby-Smith, Wilson County News Editor, and this is our Facebook Live on Fridays with
Julia Weaver. I am the Wilson County News Marketing and Social Media Specialist, and it is great to have you join us. Great to have you back at another Facebook Live in the Wilson County News Break Room.
Yes, and this morning we are talking all things Floresville with City Manager Henrietta Turner
Hello, how are you this morning?
and Floresville Economic Development Corporation Executive Director Ben Reed, hometown guy too. So say hello to Ben and
How y'all
Henrietta.
doing?
But before we get into that, I would just like to mention, say a thanks to Sun Junkies Tanning for sponsoring this video. We are very excited to be working with them also to provide this very exciting new contest project that we're doing. So the way this works, if you haven't already seen our posts about it this week, is if you watch live and you comment while we're live, we'll take your Facebook username, enter you into a random drawing to win a prize. So this week, I think our prize is either one of these beautiful little candles that we have in the front. They're handmade, soy, all natural ingredients, very nice, and smelling so lovely.
Oh, they do.
Oh yes.
Lots of great scents.
Yes. It's either that one or one of the Sun Junkies. It's like a gift certificate, but basically a membership. So, we will be looking forward to that.
Great prizes, so be sure to like and comment. Let us know
Yes.
you're there.
Yes.
Questions for Henrietta and Ben, also welcome while we're here.
Oh yes. We are always reading the comments and staying caught up with you guys so that we don't miss anything and we get everything that you would like to cover. So,
And also, before we get started, in addition to acknowledging our sponsor this morning, we do want to bring you up to date. Visit the WilsonCountyNews.com website for a new update just this morning. New executive order from Wilson County that takes effect on Monday
yes.
regarding COVID-19 and certain protections, including masks in businesses in the county. So be sure to go to our website for the details on that and look for more in our July 1st print issue. And so, here we are with Ben and with Henrietta, and we've got a lot going on in Floresville lately. Actually, we've got a lot going on in all of our communities that's not completely coronavirus related, but lots of things happening here in Floresville, lots of changes, and I know that we have some particular things that we did want to kind of bring up in case, some of our community members and viewers aren't completely informed about some of these things that are happening. Lots of exciting new things going on.
Well, one of the first things that I wanted to talk about is, as a newspaper, we have been trying our very best to support and help local businesses, and especially small businesses, through this pandemic. And we've been providing free advertising through these awesome special sections like our restaurant guide, shopping guide, and our comeback section, which is still in the works. So don't forget to call us if you would like to get in on any of that. But in light of all that, I thought it would be a really great opportunity to talk publicly with some of you who may not have read the article in the newspaper yet about the CARES Act and these new developments that we're having as a city.
Yeah, so I can chime in on that to start. The way it kind of started was back when the COVID-19, the pandemic first started with the coronavirus, we saw the need and for businesses as they were closing down, having to change and adapt and move forward with like curbside delivery, change kind of their routine of how they do things to move forward. And one thing as our board and the city council, Ms. Turner can talk about as well, is that they took a real a positive approach to moving forward to like, hey, how can we get involved? How can we help the businesses? They started asking early on. You saw a lot of other communities do different programs and put different types of money into helping small businesses. We were a little different because a lot of other communities, I would say, kind of shut down during the pandemic, but we are still continuing to grow, as we can talk about that later with some of the new businesses that have come in, where a lot of other communities don't have new businesses starting up during the pandemic, and we have. So that's one thing we're struggling with. How do you put the money back into the small businesses and help them, along with helping your community grow? That was our first challenge. So as we move forward, I had a real progressive board that wanted to get involved and asked me to look at my budget and where can I pull money from. So the first phase of what we did with the Economic Development Corporation was they tasked me and Charlotte Jimenez with FEDC to come and try to find money. So we found $60,000 in our current budget with sales tax to get that we could give back to the businesses. And as we opened up phase one of our COVID-19 small business grant program, we had 43 applicants. And as you can see, it came out in the paper, and we were able to fund every business with $1,500 across the board. And those checks will start going out next week. We have a few paperwork they need to sign and a certificate to deliver, and they will start getting out those funds starting Monday.
And what are those? The funds, what are they for?
So the funds are for,
they help?
help during that time when businesses were shut down. So people still had rent, they still had electricity and water coming in. So that's more of a reimbursement. So like they can turn in, their water, their electric bill they put down on their application. So that's when we made the decision, like, hey, if we were to cover a majority of these businesses, water, electric, whether they have rent or they have taxes on their billing for the month, that was the number we came to. We looked at different things to help businesses with signage and different things like that. They felt it was more of a need to get more funds streamlined into the businesses, so that's why we got to that number of $1,500. And then as that came about, we were in the process of doing it. Ms. Turner can talk about the CARES Act that you just mentioned, where they can.
So the CARES Act is just like everybody hopefully received their stimulus package. It's a package that's coming from the federal government. And big communities that are more than 500,000 people, like San Antonio, they receive their money directly. But smaller communities, and we're much smaller than 500,000 people, or counties, received it through the state of Texas. So it went to the state first. And so the state actually has issued and did one per diem, which is why census is very important. You need to do your census. So per capita, they did like $50 or $55, please correct me, per person. And so the city of Floresville is going to receive somewhere around $397,000. But what they did initially was actually to put together 20% to be able to do that, to give that money. And so they have set aside a certain amount, I believe it's 25% of their total allotment, to be allowed to use as what they call a government entity, an enterprise zone, so that we can give money to the businesses. And so as a second phase, what the city would like to do is to match what they did, for EDC did, and to expand that so there could be additional wave of funding and to use it through EDC. Since they've set the criteria and the application process and done the public hearings that we need to do so that we can initiate to do that. The county has the same funding as the city. They receive their funding as well. And the county is working on putting together the economic program for an economic grant to businesses that they can do. And so we're really excited to be able to do that. Businesses are affected. I think the general order came out again today that bars would now have to close, and the pandemic is actually increasing. And so as we're trying to deal with this and the different requirements that are happening, we need to be able to address that. But still, the electricity and people need to pay. So this is just to see that what we can do to help, what EDC can do to help. With the county, they have funding. You have to reach the county to see how they're going to do their funding. But there's funding out there to help people. So please reach out and call your different entities to help them so that you can be able to do that. To use the funds for paying the bills, electricity, water, those kind of things to keep going on, because we're all affected. The city's affected as well as things are having to close. So we're hoping to have a positive spin going forward because we're all in this together. We're all affected.
Yeah, so what we're looking at is in phase two, after we get all the funding out this next week or two, we will open it back up for a business that haven't already applied. So right now we know there are more than 43 businesses in the community. We have a waiting list already. If people have called saying, hey, we missed the boat the first time, you didn't miss the boat. We have a phase two going out, so that'll drop live here hopefully like in 2 weeks. And we'll let the paper know. It'll be on a website, the city website, so they can come reapply again. We'll open that window for 2 short weeks, just so we can get everybody in, and it'll be a community effort. It's going to be word of mouth. So as you hear about it, you just tell your family, tell your friends, tell your businesses that you know, and so they can come apply. We have an open door policy. The EDC, if people don't know, we're located at City Hall, and you could just come in. If you can't apply online, it's an online application. You can pick up a hard copy, or we'll deliver it to you and come help you fill it out as well. So anything we can do to help with small businesses to get that filled out, and then we'll get that approved and get that money out hopefully in the next month to the new businesses for the second round of help.
Now, speaking of applications and where they can find information, City and the FEDC are on the Go Wilson app.
Yes.
Okay, and this is something that we're really excited about. If you don't have the app, it's super easy. It's free.
Yes.
But this is another way that people can find out about these programs, but everything to do with the city too. Am I right? So all of your forms and information are there.
Yes. So if you go onto the app, it has a link. We can put a link on it to our website to where it pushes to there, and then we can also put the link to that application. We can do a push notification. So if you sign up with the app, we'll push that out there to you as well, so you have that link to apply for the grant moving forward when that goes live.
Yes, because information definitely is power, and we really appreciate that. What's Kind of News has really helped us to make sure that we communicate in all facets, paper, print, electronic, it's all out there, and that push notifications really well. Charlotte is actually off camera, but she's here, and she's the one that actually is in charge of putting out those notifications out there. It has helped us in reference to emergency closing, information. We put that out there because we really want people to know. And Facebook is really becoming a media that everybody uses.
Yeah.
So social media is our friend, and we're trying to educate everybody as we go forward.
And it's become a great partnership with the app, with the paper, with the FEDC and the city of Floresville. So we really appreciate that, and they all started that program, and we can jump on board to really push the information that we need to get out and say how we want to say it to get it out on that app.
Yes.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
that being said, it would be a great idea for everybody. If you don't already have the app, you should definitely download it and make sure that you have your push notifications turned on. Because these notifications aren't going to be the, what you get from Facebook, oh, somebody followed you or commented, and, oh, it's not that important. No, these are breaking news. These are
It's news you
updates
need
about,
to know.
yes, updates about your town, your community, and things that really do pertain to you and how you're doing your everyday life. So,
And it takes all of about 2 minutes on your phone or your electronic device, and directions on our website. And we could also, at some point in time, maybe we'll do a little tutorial on our live too, just to show you how simple and easy it is. But that's just another way of communicating, keeping you informed, keeping everybody connected, but not to negate the fact that, we are people, we thrive on human contact. So City Hall is there. There are good people there available to answer your questions, help you pay the bills, give you all the answers to all the questions that you have. And we're here as well as a community resource, and we're still open. And everybody doing our best to protect public health and watch, do our best to actually keep everybody well and healthy by observing health and hygiene regulations. But at the same time, we're here, so feel free to drop by, ask questions, get the information that you need. And we will all do our best to serve.
yes, we will. But COVID-19 is not the only thing that's affecting these new happenings. There are a lot of other things that are independent of the pandemic, such as this new business development project that we've been hearing about. It's a business park.
Yeah, so real excited. About 6 months ago, I was tasked with my board to kind of move forward and say, what can we do to help Floresville grow? Not just in the realm of just small businesses, but industrial. How do we create jobs, or how do we help businesses that are currently growing to grow into a bigger facility? One thing in January. I think July 15th will be my 1-year anniversary here in this role, so I'm really excited about that. It's got a lot of phone calls over the last year about, do you have space? Do you have 5,000, 7,500 square foot building available so we can, put in a company, whether that be an electrical company or plumbing company, things like that, and how can we attract those businesses? One thing that the EDC did years ago is we started the industrial park, and that park is completely sold out. There's no more property available for business to buy and grow. So one thing that came available, the school had some property available there behind Richard Brothers off the business loop. There's like 10.4 acres, and they put it on for bidding, and we jumped on board at the EDC, and we were able to win that bid. So we're moving forward. We're doing all our appropriate readings and public hearings, and we'll be closing on that property soon with the school district. And with that property, the vision of it is to create a business park within the city limits, whereas it will be unique to the industrial park, which is in the county that the EDC runs. But this one will be a business park and a partnership inside the city limits, and really help us and attract new businesses to come to Floresville and help or retain businesses and help our businesses grow that are growing after this pandemic or during this time. So we're really excited about that. So
Yes, I think industrial park is definitely something that people can use. You can imagine a cabinetry maker or something that they need to be in the city but not necessarily downtown. And so they were given the facility to do these vanilla boxes for people to do a build out. And this property is adjacent to, not adjacent, but right around where Riverbend is. And our Riverbend subdivision, if I can talk about that for a minute, is really, really exciting. Riverbend, as you know, is our TERS area, which means they have a tax increment district. And it's been developing and building some homes. But just recently, Portland Builders, the largest builders in the United States, has purchased 107 lots. And out of those 107 lots, they've already taken out 10 permits. And that is really exciting.
yeah, if you go out there right now, you can see the frames going up. I think they already have the second story on a couple of the houses framed.
Very, very exciting regarding growth. And you mentioned some new businesses coming, despite, we've heard where some things are just
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of
if you
holding
think about
steady,
it,
but here we're growing.
yeah, you think about it. I think y'all had some of them on here, like Carmel on 3rd with Alan. He opened up during this time. We had the FTX Nutrition downtown, which used to be the old Post Plumbing building next to Mrs. Annie's. She's opened up with has like some Herbalife tea drinks and shakes as well. And then, of course, we have the all-natural juices at the juice box out at Blue Casa Village. And it opened right at the beginning of the pandemic. You see, we did the ribbon cutting. We were doing the social distancing. But have made it through this process and had a really good support of our community. And I think that's a good testament to our community, how we're supporting our local businesses. And then you look at some of the new things that are coming. You'll see the temporary location. So I want to stress that temporary location there on right there on 181 and Plum Street. You have the Dean and Pillars going in. So I think they're less than probably a week, less than 2 weeks away from opening. Working with Dustin and Jason over there. Really cool if you go to their Facebook or just on his personal pages. He has some pictures of what the inside of that building looks like, and so you'll be able to get meat straight from the field to your table, and that's what's really unique. And I guess a new branding, I want to say, of our area where you have a local cattle company where you can get that meat here locally with
Farm to table.
Yeah, farm to table, exactly, farm to table, and we could put us on the map in that way. So. Real excited about that process, and you can see that picture of what that building's going to look like once they got their corporate headquarters and their processing plant built. But saw the need for that and decided to come ahead and put that temporary building and get open right away. And it's been a great partnership working with the city.
Yes, we're really excited.
to get them
So
open.
along the same line, right there, a wonderful McDonald's, and we've had McDonald's. McDonald's had anticipated actually demolishing and building a new McDonald's in the same location. And it was put on hold because of the pandemic, and now it's moved forward. They have picked up their permits and they're ready to do. And so we're excited. It's going to be sorry to have to live without McDonald's for a little while, but they were going to come back bigger and better, and they would improve. So they're going to have 2 lanes. They're going to have a playground inside with the new design playground, so the kids can social distance, and it's going to be a bigger footprint. I didn't realize that actually they owned the property all the way to 301.
Yeah, to the
Or
back.
181 to 301, so they're going to make it deeper. So you're going to see them demolish, but they're going to come back bigger and stronger McDonald's. And I think that McDonald's is over 20
We're not
years
going
old.
anywhere.
I was going to say, so if you see McDonald's coming down,
They're
don't think
not
it's
going-
going away.
It's going to be bigger and better, in the same location,
Two
and they're really,
lanes.
really excited. And they're really motivated. 2-lane driving, because
Yes.
you've seen it when they back up on the highway.
Mhm.
So we're really, really excited about that. We have some other ones I cannot expose to you right now. I cannot wait till it's official. But we
You
have
can
some.
tell how excited she is.
So as soon as they're ready for a sign, we're ready to do a ribbon cutting. I don't want to spoil it, but we're also having 2 major businesses coming along 181 as well.
Yeah.
So we're really, really excited.
And then we have the new Alligator Dental that just will be opening up probably, I think we're looking at doing the grand opening on August 6th. And that's out at Sister Creek, so that's a pediatric dentistry. That's going to open up there. You go to our FEDC page, you can see the new doctor, little editorial about him that he put out, I shared. So we're excited about that growth, not just in the eatery side, but then our business side moving forward. And then really excited about that.
Yeah. Never a dull moment in the city of
No.
Floresville.
No.
We're always moving and striving forward, and I think I have to commend the City Council and FEDC board that has seen the leadership to move the city forward, keep fighting and striving for higher and better things, even in the midst of this.
Yeah.
We have had it's more than a distraction, but it's something that we have to deal with, overcome, and then, get ready to go ahead and fight. Roller straight, sleep, because we have so much to do. We have to think about our future and where we're going to be in 5 years, and what we have to make our new normal. And I think that's not going to go back to normal, but we're going to make us a new normal that'll be better, hopefully, and improved, is what I'm hoping for.
I hope so too. And speaking of better things, I don't know if any of you have been driving along downtown Floresville, but our sidewalks are being ripped up and being
Well, it's
fixed.
a little painful.
Yes.
It's coming your way. We'll say
It is. It's coming around
Literally,
the corner
it's
on the
coming your
C
way.
Street.
Yeah.
Literally.
I do have to say that Councilman Juan Ortiz challenged me about 2 years ago to apply for this grant. And so we applied for the grant and we received the funding. And one of our local engineer, Intrepid, is actually the designer of that. And so this is only our first phase. There's a total of 9 phases, and I'm about to apply for the next phase. But we're hoping to be able to do that. And so, of course, construction is not pretty, as it wasn't pretty when we did your parking lot in the back. But we will get through this and hiccup. But some of the challenges that we've found, of course, we're fighting the weather and the rain, which we want the rain, but you can't pour concrete in the rain.
Yeah.
But the other challenge is that these buildings are over 100 years old. And so we're discovering things as we demolish the sidewalk about where they put things 100 years ago.
And things are on the ground that we didn't know were
It wasn't on the plans.
there.
But I think that we've learned some things. We've had a learning curve. We've learned some things, and we're going to literally turn the corner and come down here in front of you, and to be able to do that. But I think what's going to be pleasant at the end of the day, when it happens, before Peanut Festival, if that happens, that we will have a new sidewalk that'll be handicap accessible, and it will also address some of the drainage issues that we were having, some of the accessibility issues that we were having. And so we're going to do that. But I have to say, I can't take credit for it. I will take credit for some things, but I won't take credit for this. Ben Reed has actually worked really, really hard with Phelps, and the EDC has stepped up and done a lighting program. And so we will have decorative lights. One of the things that happened last year, we lit up the downtown and
We did.
on the
Top the
buildings
Christmas.
and top of the Christmas tree and on all the facades of the building. But we want to be able to do that for you. So now we're going to have lights literally in the sidewalk.
Yeah, so we'll have lighting in the sidewalk every 30 feet, and it'll come up and it'll just make it a safer, give us a better nightlife. So as we, one of our task of the EDC is, our number one goal when we do a lot of our planning meetings is how do we redevelop our downtown. So it starts right there. So when we're ripping the sidewalk, we're like, if we're going to do the infrastructure, now is the time when we put it in to modernize it and take a lot of that underground so we can get rid of the poles and some of that overhead that we
So
really
that
don't
was
need.
Phelps' idea. They
Yeah.
said at no other time would they have an opportunity to do all this ugly wiring on top, to do that inside the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I said to them, well, there's 9 phases to this. And so we don't want to just do it on one phase and the rest of it won't match, just like wearing one earring and the earrings don't match. Even though you're a young person and it's kind of a cool thing to have earrings that don't match.
Yeah.
But my earrings have to match, and so my lights have to match.
Yeah.
And so Phelps has committed to go with us for all 9 phases.
Yeah.
To make that as we come up to the next phase, so this time we'll be able to design it inside ahead of time. That as we go to the next phase, that they will actually prepare for that and do the one. So at the end of the phase, whenever it'll be, year 2020, whatever it'll be, we will have all underground lighting. There'll be no open ground wiring for
Yeah,
the
on the
lights.
top.
And then they're going to help us purchase the decorative lighting poles. I was just thinking about I call them aluminum, but they're not really
Yeah.
aluminum. But the standard aluminum poles, they're like, no, we need to do a little decorative poles. So we're going to have some decorative poles, lighting poles to be able to do the decorative. So my thing is like, well, if we're going to do decorative things, let's make sure that we can put banners on them.
Mhm.
Because it's all about the little banners that we have. And so then we'll have a banner program as well. And so I'm thinking these things that we have opportunity, we're going to build it. So it truly is a partnership between the community, the business owners, because we're going to make you a little uncomfortable for a while, the business owners, the state of Texas who actually funded us for this, EDC on two fronts because they're bringing the lighting, but they also helped us with the financial match.
Yeah.
Okay, we really didn't have a financial match, and they did that. And now we have Phelps coming in saying that at their cost they're doing the wiring, and then they're going to help us, the city, purchase the poles at the price that they buy them at.
Yeah. And then they're going to help wire them for us and
help
get them
us
up and
wire.
going. So it's been a really good partnership.
So I cannot imagine anyone else being able to partner this at this time. And so I'm really excited because downtown needs to be our focus. And if I could get on my little bandwagon for just a second, typically when you have a Walmart, and I love my Walmart, you have, it kills the downtown area. And so our downtown has been struggling since I've been here, since 2013, to come back. It started with the courthouse remodeling, and then the city hall remodeled, and then we did the new water lines downtown. And so we've been working on focusing on our downtown area because that is truly the heart of the community. We don't want our downtown to fail. And so reinvesting, reinventing, our Christmas every year has gotten a little bit better. At the lighting and the activities, I mean,
Yeah, we have a lot of good benefits.
last Christmas, I actually had to call the police department for traffic control for downtown. I was like, oh my God, because traffic control.
Had a very good response.
We needed
had a good
someone
turnout.
directing traffic downtown.
Yes.
And so as we build on these things and bring some of these things, they're not new, because they had these things before, to rebirth and to maybe have a new normal. And so we're really excited to looking at that. We've even looked at actually, Ben has been looking at, and we had to put some things on hold because of the pandemic, but we're looking at applying, doing an incubator downtown with EDC, and maybe finding some small areas that we can do some painting and do some outside cafe kind of things whenever we do
Yeah,
that.
so we can do some training facilities at downtown for our small businesses, and as well as provide low-cost rent to them. So as we can maybe repurchase, one of our goals coming up is purchasing some of these older buildings and then refurbishing them at maybe low-cost rent for business owners to get into, to refinance later on, or just to help them get started. That's one of our new goals, and that incubator can help us with a way to purchase these buildings, freshen them up, do a training facility downtown, and help
Offer some
revitalize them.
opportunities for some growth.
Exactly.
Yeah, wonderful.
And you,
And again, if you're just joining us, and I'm sorry to
that's good.
we're speaking with Floresville Economic Development Corporation Executive Director Ben Reed and City Manager Henrietta Turner this morning about all things Floresville. So very exciting developments coming in our county seat, and obviously a little bit of growth because you've mentioned with the CARES Act some things that are happening with the county as well. Some of this you can actually learn more about in this week's issue of the Wilson County News. A lot of the things that Ben has brought up with us this morning, we've got a couple of those things in this week's issue of the paper, and more to come in coming issues, obviously, as these things develop.
Yeah, just know that that's the big thing as we move forward with our small businesses, that we're here to help support with the EDC. We do have some hand sanitizer available. I want to do mention that. We have gallon sizes, so if you just reach out to myself here at the EDC, call the city, or talk to Charlotte, the assistant over there, we can drop that off. And those are some of the things we need to help you stay open. We have that available there at the EDC office. So.
All these developments to help the community move forward. It's just awesome how we can come together and do stuff like that.
It is. It's heartwarming. Do want to remind you also, while we're still on Facebook Live this morning, to comment and share and with us who you are that you're watching, so that you can be entered in our drawing with our sponsor, Sun Junkies. So make sure that you do let us know that you're out there watching, please,
Yes.
while we're live, because that'll put you in the prize drawing for some really cool prizes.
Very cool prizes. And also you had mentioned, yes, actually at least three of the things that we talked about today they have their own separate articles in this week's paper. So if you have not already picked up a Wilson County News off of your paper stand, they're everywhere at your local restaurants. You'll find them at H-E-B, at Walmart. You can come by our office, or if you're a subscriber, you can check your mailbox. But we've got lots of exciting stuff happening, and we've made sure that we got it to you on paper. So, yeah.
Or electronic subscription.
Yes,
If you're really a fan of your devices, we do have e-subscriptions, and you don't have to necessarily, although we like to carry the paper. I personally do because I like sharing articles, but if you like sharing them in your email, Facebook, whatever you want to say, did you see this? You can do that with the e-subscriptions.
And we really do appreciate everybody who comments, who communicates with us, who communicates us to other people, sharing in the community, because that's our whole, that's the point, to get the word out and to make sure that we're being a reliable, trustworthy newspaper.
That's it. Keeping the history and sharing the news that is the news in our community, sharing what you're doing. So we welcome y'all to actually share what photos of where you are, what you're doing, what you see around the community, neat things, interesting bird life, whatever it is that interests you, we want to share it. This is your paper, this is our community. You're part of what we do every single day, and you're why we do what we do.
We also love the little opinion articles that we get, the letters to the editor. They're always an interesting read, and we always make sure that we publish them along with our other editorial columns. So, and there was a lot of exciting stuff going on the front page. We actually had, speaking of the COVID and stuff, some information about how that's been going in Wilson County, so you can read that article. It starts on the front page and continues later on 2A. And
you mentioned the partnership with Phelps. We've
Yes.
got great exciting news regarding Phelps right there on the front page.
yes, they have some new digs.
Coming soon.
So,
Yes, I mean, soon work is continuing out on the site out there.
it is a $15.9 million facility, apparently.
Yes.
So that is
Brand new
quite a
headquarters.
huge development.
Yes, and
Quite
Phelps is
exciting.
bringing all of their components from the administration to their fleet and everything to one
In-house.
location in-house.
Yes.
We've been working with Phelps on that permit. Mr. Lowe has really been hands-on, as you can see there for the groundbreaking ceremony, and we're really, really excited about that. And we're really excited because we didn't want them to leave Floresville, and they're in the newly annexed portion of Floresville that became, they say they just made it in.
Yeah.
So we're really, really excited that they're going to be doing that, and I'm looking forward to that facility. It is a gorgeous facility, and it is going to be state of the art. And so we're really excited as Phelps grows, the city of Floresville grows, and so we're excited to be able to have that. And they just, a few years ago, they had their 75th anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
been a few years.
It's just been a few years. So, we're growing, and so that just proves the growth that they're able to do that. And so hopefully, sometime very soon, we'll be able to have a ceremony. We can go and see what it looks like as this facility comes up. But it is quite a facility, and like I said, all of their interests are going to be there. And I don't want to steal Mr. Lowe's joy. Maybe you all can invite him one day so that you all can talk about all the wonderful things Phelps.
Not just you.
Speaking of, why don't you comment if you'd like us to see if we can get Mr. Lowe here? That would be something that you could comment on if you haven't already said hi or hello. Let us know. And
Do
also,
you want to hear more from Phelps?
yes, we love your suggestions and we love your input. So we're happy to cater to you.
Absolutely.
I think I just want to thank y'all for the opportunity to come out here and say what the great things are going on in Floresville. It's exciting times, and like I said, we're excited to announce other things that are coming, but we just got to put on the rest for a little bit longer, but it's really exciting times in Floresville, and I really want to thank the Wilson County News and for y'all's Facebook Live inviting us on to come share that.
Maybe you'll come online to tell us.
Maybe we can. Or y'all can be on site.
This is going to be a good one, and so we're really looking forward to
Yeah.
being able to share the excitement that's coming to the city of Floresville. And so as we move forward, as we get these new things, and people are now searching us out, it's like what? They're coming to us, asking us in Floresville. We need to be ready to do that. So we're excited, looking forward to that.
You can find me through the app.
They can
Yes.
find
Yes,
us on
they
the app,
can.
and I don't do apps, but I have this app. I don't do
Because it's easy.
If
Yes.
it was, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Yes.
Yes, very good point there.
Excellent.
Well,
What else do we have for viewers today?
I just wanted to point out a few of the more exciting things in our paper. So we've already talked about the Phelps development and this COVID update, but we also had some information about Riverbend CDC, which we had mentioned earlier, some developments that are going on with Riverbend.
We'll have more on that from Richard Coons in
Yes.
next week's newspaper.
Yes, that is definitely something you need to stay updated on. I believe that was actually an article that we ran a short brief on and in the works this morning.
Yes.
Yes.
On your WC Insider, so if you don't get that newsletter, you're missing out because we kind of give sneak peeks for what's coming up and having issues in the paper. So another thing besides the app is to kind of come and look out the WC Insider and subscribe to that. And
It's actually free if you go to wilsoncountynews.com/free news. You can sign up for any and all of our newsletters for free, so you get all of these updates and free information and sneak peeks at things that will be coming in issues of the newspaper. We also had a very exciting page. It's the POVE page, so that's a monthly publication in the newspaper, so any and all things that are going on in POVE we have got right here on page 4A of this week's paper. So that was super exciting. Lots of awesome stuff happening in that community. And then, of course, our editorial section was also very exciting. Elaine Kaloji returned with her column this week. I know some people were missing it last week. Oh man, I have it backwards now. I hate when I do that, but it's okay. We also had a lot of events come up. We had basically, well, there's this small portion of it, but then in the South Texas Living, we've got a whole spread of that. And also on the front of South Texas Living, if you didn't already know, Lavernia had their graduation. So Lavernia High School graduates, congratulations.
yeah, it was our last graduation in Wilson County.
Yeah.
So,
Got them all done.
Yes.
all our high schools have graduates for this year. Everybody managed.
And we're also
Commence.
really excited about different events going on too. I want to mention at our sports complex, you know, we've partnered with, I think Mr. Hamilton in there. They're having some baseball tournaments out there, and he's really excited about our facility because it's unique in how they can really social distance and park in the outfield and abide by the governor's orders moving forward. So as he sets that plan, I mean, really excited. The last few weeks we had, I think, a couple thousand people each weekend out there at different times playing baseball. So those are some exciting things too as we move forward to see those things come to fruition in our community, that our sports complex is being utilized not just by our local sports entities, but being recognized by a lot of other people saying they want to come to our town, which I think they filled up a lot of hotel rooms, teams coming from Laredo, as far as Corpus, and then also put the influx in our businesses. I think they were buying
Hotel money.
motel money, and they were
With that.
filling up their gas tanks and buying Gatorades and stuff like that for the tournament. So we're really excited about that. Yes, exactly.
And we've also got a lot of other events, speaking of this kind of thing. We've got, I think it's Fall City's Community Hall dances. They're having a welcome back dance, and they're excited to have live music by Cactus Company. So they have a small ad right here. It's very nice, and a whole little article to themselves, along with, like I said, a whole page full of events that you can check out. Some of them are online. Most everyone that I read has mentioned practicing safe social distancing and COVID-19 procedures to ensure your safety. We do know that Lavernia has made some updates to their plans, so stay in touch with us so that we can get that information to you. Make sure you're staying updated via social media. If you're watching us, you most likely already know that we have a Facebook. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. We have a website, wilsoncountynews.com, and we are on YouTube. And, like we've mentioned about a million times, we have an app.
Don't forget
It's
the app.
called
Don't
Go
forget
Wilson, and it's easy to download.
Click on
And
the
it's
big app
free.
for the city of Floresville.
And that was most of what I had wanted to mention about what was in the paper. So,
Well, thank you for joining us, and we want to thank Ben Reed with the Floresville Economic Development Corporation and Henrietta Turner, who's the city manager with the city of Floresville, for joining us this morning and joining you this morning to share these exciting things that are happening in our city and the county seat. And we look forward to being with you again next Friday. And we'll be letting the cat out of the bag about who our guests will be during the week. So join us on social media. Follow us for those
We will also be announcing the winner of the comment contest. So this is your last chance to comment if you haven't already done so. Please do. We are so excited to be able to do that for you. And thank you again for joining us. Thank you Sun Junkies Tanning for sponsoring this video. And we really do hope to see you back in our break room at the Wilson County News next Friday at 11:30 a.m. Oh wait, you know what? Is it next Friday, July 3rd?
Next Friday is July the 3rd.
We're close to next Friday, so you'll have to wait 2 weeks.
We hope you won't miss us too much.
Yes, we will still be keeping you updated on our social media platforms, so definitely watch out for next Friday at 11:30 a.m.
And happy 4th of July.
Yes,
Happy
July, be
4th
safe.
of July.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
I think it's ending. Oh, here we go.